Good evening, vinyl community. Hi, I hope everyone is doing very, very well out there. It's Rob back for another video. It's a Saturday night here in the UK, and I'm doing a response to Alan at Static Traveller. God bless him. Yes, and his tag, A Matter of Life and Death. Very profound. Yes, he put this to us as a kind of alternative to the tags that were and have been doing the rounds over the last few weeks since the start of the year. Yeah, there's some interesting questions there. I'm kind of in between this and that at the moment because I'm sort of I'm clearing out the attic as you can see here. Well, you probably can't see, but I am clearing it out. I'm upgrading my hi-fi, yeah, so I want to try and improve the sound of things and blah 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 and all the rest of it. And I don't know, it could be a terrible mistake. Time will tell. I don't know, but there you go. Anyway, so let's get back to the matter in hand, and let's get on with the tag. Okay, so yeah, when I thought about these questions, and I actually came out with the records that that kind of most related to the questions. I thought I was really surprised because they're all kind of quite common records, very well known, nothing kind of weird or left field particularly. So yeah, but it's honest. It is what it is. So let's get on with it. So okay, so the first question was, show a record related to procreation or birth. Okay, so for me, it's got to be Breathe from this record. I don't even need to mention it. You all know it. But yeah, I mean, you know, breathe in the air. Don't be afraid to care. You know, that's about as primal as you get, really, isn't it? You know, first breath of life, I guess. So yeah, I mean, you could almost include this record as you know, as life and death. I don't know, all the way through. It's a kind of it's that kind of record, isn't it? So, but yeah, there you go. So that's my answer to question one. Okay, show a record that reminds you of school. I tried to avoid this, but it was really, really difficult. Because of because of the lyrics, but just because it was just played endlessly by pretty much everybody when I was at school. And it's Pink Floyd, The Wall. And it's Another Brick in the Wall. Yeah, it was that huge #1 single in the end of 1979, when I started senior school, and everybody was listening to this. It was just everywhere. So yeah, I mean, this is a record that I loved when I was a teenager. It's kind of very subversive and yeah, you know, angsty and stuff, but I just don't relate to this really anymore. I find it a very, very difficult listen. So, but it's still a great album, but I just don't I don't enjoy it. I think it's one for the kids at the end of the day. So, but there you go. Okay, show a record that has something to do with work. Well, all I can say is, how dare you? Yeah, you see this guy on the phone having a chat to, I don't know, is this his wife? Is this his lover? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, this is me just like tied to my desk, you know, talking on the phone all day. This is essentially what I do as a job. So I don't know what this guy does as a job. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, that's me talking on the phone all day. So this record, not so much the content, the actual songs itself, but the cover certainly reminds me of work. So there you go. Okay, show record that makes you think of family. Well, this is a record and artist that I've shown a couple of times before, and this means a lot to me in a lot of ways. This is Tom Lehrer. So this is the American satirist who was a Harvard mathematician, a very clever guy, but had a talent for playing the piano and, you know, basically telling, being satirical on sort of, you know, life and politics of the day, 50s and early 60s. My mum and dad actually went to see Tom Lehrer live in Birmingham when they were courting before they married. So yeah, you know, my dad always used to play this when I was a kid. And I actually ended up playing the Elements song, which is, because there's 2 albums. So you've got Songs of Tom Lehrer, which is the original. These are original 10-inch records on Decca, which he actually bought while he was doing his national service in Nairobi in Africa. You can see the stamp there. And this is the follow-up that he did, I think, a year or 2 later, called More of Tom Lehrer. Yeah, and they're just a fantastic listen. You know, some of the politics and stuff is obviously dated, but it's still very, very clever, really intelligent. Yeah, and some of it is still relevant to today, the absurdity of the way we live in these times. Okay, show record which is about or related to money. How about this? Sergio Leone's wonderful film Good, Bad and the Ugly. Soundtrack obviously by the wonderful Ennio Morricone. Yeah, you got 3 bounty hunters, I guess, but all from kind of different backgrounds, all coming together to chase the dollar and yeah, go in pursuit of a cache of gold. So yeah, definitely the underlying narrative of this story was greed and the pursuit of money and wealth. So yeah, there we go. Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Okay, show record is related to the passing of time. This is a record that I absolutely love. Definitely one of my top 10 favorite albums, instrumental albums. I heard this pretty much straight away after it came out, but it just always reminds me of Christmas and winter. So this is very much the passing of time. So this is George Winston's wonderful December album, with some original pieces, but a lot of tracks that and songs that he's adapted from the past, classical pieces and so on. and the wonderful Holly and the Ivy. Yeah, this always reminds me, once I've played this is, and the weather gets a bit warmer, it's the passing of winter and going into spring. So yeah, fantastic stuff. Okay, show record which shows or is about food and drink. Well, this is certainly not about food and drink, but it shows food and drink, I guess. So we have Steel Eye Spans, 1972, is it, I think? Below the Salt album. So you can see they're all having a bit of a feast there, wine and various venison meats, I don't know, whatever is going on in there. They're certainly enjoying themselves and filling their faces. So there you go. Okay, show record which shows or is about pastimes and recreation. Well, I didn't have fictitious sports or any of those, or Huey Lewis sports or whatever. But I have got this, which is Roy Harper's 1975 album HQ. And we have the song, probably his most revered song, ending the album, which is When an Old Cricketer Leaves the Crease. Obviously heavily related to cricket there, and Roy was of course a big cricket fan. So there we go. Okay, show record which makes you happy. In Stunty's video I showed the Tourists album, which had So Good to Be Back Home Again, which is probably my all-time get up and be happy song, even though I don't do dancing particularly. But this is another one that just really makes me feel very happy and upbeat. So this is from the wonderful Thin Lizzy in their 1979 album Black Rose. And we have the fantastic opener, Do Anything You Want to Do. Or Do Anything You Want To, I should say. Obviously you got the Eddie and the Hot Rods song, Do Anything You Want to Do, which is just as ebullient and upbeat, and would make me feel probably just as happy and upbeat. So where are we now? Show record with a work of art on the cover. Okay, this always makes me smile when whenever I look at this now, because I remember Rob Sounds Strange did a competition video, and I showed this record, and I think it was one of his least favorite albums of all time. But here we have the Fleet Foxes debut album, self-titled, and I believe this is a painting from the 16th century by Peter Bruegel the Elder, if I'm not mistaken. Very bucolic kind of country scene, I guess, from that period of time. Okay. And show records you would have or like played at your funeral. I don't really care what they play at my funeral, to be honest, because I ain't going to be there to enjoy it. So, yeah. I've often thought about this one, and I think I've commented about this on a previous video which asked a similar question, and it's it's Queen's In the Lap of the Gods revisited. Yeah, I mean, the lyrics, I mean, in the lap of the gods. it's so easy, but I can't do it. So risky, but I got a chance. It's so funny. There's nothing to laugh about. It's just full of contradictions, but absolutely, just for me, just spot on. It just says everything about life. And I would say, I'm even going to segue this into the last question, which is, show a record that sums up the meaning of life. Well, for me, it's all about, as much as you can try and shape your life in however you want to shape it, at the end of the day, everything is down to fate. It's all in the lap of the gods. So this really, really resonates with me, to be honest with you. And yeah, it's a pop record, but brilliant, just fantastic. Freddie Mercury. What can you say? It's genius. Yeah. So it's all in the lap of the gods. Whoa, whoa, la, la, la. Cheers, Alan. All the best. Bye-bye.